Hello, welcome to today's Q&A. And today with us we have Nevzat from Cyprus IVF Hospital. Welcome, Nevzat.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you for having me.
It's always such a pleasure to speak with you and learn about all the services you've been offering at such high quality at Cyprus IVF Hospital. And today we want to learn a bit more about Tandem IVF. Can you explain to us what Tandem IVF is?
Sure. It's a pleasure for me also to be here all the time and share all the experiences and the treatments that we are offering to our patients to actually assist them during their IVF journey. We know, IVF could be financially and psychologically a stressful journey. So we try to create different IVF programs to assist all kinds of patients at our hospital. And one of the program which we created 2 years ago is called Tandem IVF. So Tandem IVF has a different description all around the world. So what we mean by Tandem IVF is usually we use the Tandem IVF for a woman who has a low quality of low egg reserve to support them with an egg donor. So basically, we prepare both the intended parent and the egg donor in parallel. And then on a collection day, if we don't see that we cannot collect any eggs from the intended parent, then we directly move on and create the embryos with the egg donor. But we could also get some eggs from the intended parent to create a set of embryo from their own genetics, but plus we can also create a backup plan for them from the egg donor genetics. So then we will have two separate sets of embryos, one from the IP's own material and one from the egg donor and partner sperm. So with that, if the patient, first of all, most of the patients, they would like to go with their own genetics and they want to go with their own embryos. So we transfer, first of all, their own embryos. And if it doesn't work and we finish their embryos during the journey, then at least they have a backup plan to move with the donor embryos. So that's the kind of the tandem IVF, how we describe it. But in some cases, in North Cyprus, it's legal to basically transfer one embryo from their own eggs and one embryo from the donor eggs as well. That is also possible because some patients, they have lots of attempts, lots of trials. They're completely exhausted. And they said, look, even though we have one, let's say, embryo from our side and one embryo from the donor eggs, we want to get the maximum chance to be pregnant. So can you please transfer us both of them? Yes, we can do that. It's legally allowed in Northern Cyprus. But sometimes you have 0 eggs from the intended parent, and you, instead of starting from that new program, send them back home, take them back here, we say, okay, don't worry. Your other set of embryo from the donor eggs is ready for you. So we can move forward and transfer that one for you. So we don't send our patients with hopeless, no hope, back home, and then start again from new program for egg donation. This is because we see, we have a huge experience in the IVF field, and we see what kind of journeys and what kind of experience our patients are going through. And based on that experience, we try to create this kind of programs to support them to achieve their goals as soon as possible. Because, age is matter. They're really eager to become a family. So that's why, as a Cyprus IVF hospital, we are here to create this kind of programs to assist our patients to create their family.
I think that makes sense because they end up having more eggs in that cycle to work with. So that makes a lot of sense. And who is suitable for Tandem IVF? Everyone can opt for this program?
So basically, all the patients who are willing to try with their own eggs, single woman, married couple, doesn't matter, they are eligible for this program. So if they want to go to stimulation, we can try. Of course, our doctor said, look, with the tandem IVF, your chance is this. If you are already in the edge of menopause And then our doctor say, look, based on your, because we have the random checks, we check AMH and FSH level, and the combination is really bad. We say, don't get this medication for nothing, because the result will be either we are not able to stimulate any eggs, or when we collect it, it will be one or two, and most probably they will not be mature, or even they will not be a good quality to create an embryos. So please directly go for egg donation program.
Yeah.
We do that. But if there, even though there is a chance, let's say 5% from their own materials, from their own eggs, we can say, yes, we can do this to you. You have a 5% of a chance to get your own eggs and create your own embryos. Would you like to try it? Because we don't, before the tandem, we were saying that either IVF or egg donation. So now we are giving them opportunity, something in the middle. So if the first part doesn't work, at least immediately there is a solution afterwards to move forwards.
Absolutely. And I think that's such a great idea, because many people do feel like, even though their chances are low, they do want to close that door. And this puts them the second option immediately available to them if they don't have enough eggs in that cycle.
Exactly. Or sometimes, you collect eggs. Let's say you collected 3 eggs from a lady of 45 years old. Okay. But then after the fertilization, there might be no embryos reaching on the velocity stage. So, and then you already starting your transfer protocol with the patient. She's getting the medication for the transfer, but on day 5, on the transfer day, oops, there is no embryos because they couldn't reach, and then you cancel the entire protocol for the patient, and it's a huge disappointment for the patient. But on the day 5, let's say there is no embryos from their own material. On the other side, you have the embryos from the egg donors embryos. So then you can say, hey guys, I mean, you have the embryos from the egg donor, and they're ready. So instead of canceling the entire program, we can transfer you that today.
Yeah.
And then, you're giving them this hope, you're giving them this chance at one go, instead of canceling everything, send them back home, start with the entire program again, fly back here, and go through this stressful process for them, of course. Even though we're trying to ease every kind of steps which is causing stress, people are stressing during the IVF process. So this is, I think, one of the best programs we ever created to offer this opportunity to our patients. And there's a huge demand for this program.
Yeah, I imagine it's also a very good solution for women of advanced reproductive age as well, isn't it? It's probably even more relevant to them.
Exactly, because there is some single ladies, for example, around 45, 46, 47, they said, I never tried before. So first, I want to try with my own materials. So we check there, of course, the test results and everything. Say, look, with these results, the chance of getting pregnant from your own eggs will be, let's say, very low, 2%. So either we will, if you really want to try, because she never tried, and we don't want to get that chance away from them, even though 2% is there, we offer them tandem. Look, we can try to stimulate you, try to create some embryos, but if it doesn't work, at the same time, we will be preparing the egg donor for you, so that if that fails, we have your other chance ready for you to go ahead, because age is adding up, and as you know, for the fertility, the main factor is the age.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine, because we are also stimulating a donor who is ideally younger and fit and correct, are the chances better than with the standard IVF process?
Of course. So there is a significant difference, because based on the regulations in Northern Cyprus, the egg donors must be aged between 20 and 30.
Okay.
So, and then they have to go through lots of fertility tests, plus some genetic tests and chromosomal tests like karyotype testing, citrus fibrose. So there is lots of tests that they're going through, that they're proven by the hospital as a donor. So these donors has a high fertility rates. So if you used 22 or 25 years old lady's eggs for a lady who is 47 years old, imagine the quality difference between 47 years old and 20 years old of lady. So
Absolutely.
the chance is of success rate, there is a huge difference. So based on 2022 results, we are publishing them next week on our website. But for the success rate, we divided it by the program, and then we divided it by the age range. Because some people ask, oh, what is the success rate for the egg donation program? It's a big question, you know. That's why we demographically break it down and say between age 30 to 35 this, 35 to 40, 40 to 45. And most of the people, they forget about the male factor.
Yeah.
You know, so overall, our age between 40 and 45, overall success rate for the egg donation program for the last year, it was above 75%.
Wow, that's really.
But there was, it could be some, maybe we were lucky because the male factor was okay that the patient that we received. But maybe this year we're going to receive lots of egg donation program requests, but maybe their partners fertility.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I don't like to give information about the success rate generally. That's why we say that it's really personalized. But of course, we have statistics based on the patients that we are taking in. And of course, our doctor evaluation is playing a critical role here because we say, hey, you know, we don't want to apply to IVF because the chance is zero. So we directly push them for let's say egg donation program or a sperm donation program because it could be from the male fertility side. So our doctor explained everything transparently. So instead of trying and having a negative result, we actually analyze our patients very carefully and suggest them for the right program. Yeah. That's why we have such a good success rates because we apply the right program to right patients. Of course, there are some patients, they said, no, even 1%, I want to try normal IVF.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want tandem. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready mentally to receive an egg donor's embryo. We understand also that. So even the 1% she will try. If it's zero, we don't. Our hospital doesn't accept. There's lots of clinics around the world. They try. They say, do you want it? Yeah, we can try. We don't. If it's the chance is zero, we don't try.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also giving realistic expectations.
Exactly. We don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to disappoint us.
And how is the process for tandem IVF different from the regular IVF?
Actually, the process for the patient is exactly the same, but patients, while we are preparing the patient, at the same time, we are preparing an egg donor for the patient, which first of all, we send the patient a donor recipient form. They fill that donor form. We find at least 2 to 3 options suitable for their profile. We send them back the matches. They choose one, and then we actually synchronize their cycle, and then we collect the eggs at the same time with the donor, from the donor and from the patient. So in a parallel, there is a shadow process. Whatever we are applying for the patient, there is a shadow process for the egg donors.
So the egg retrieval happens to be around the same time.
Around same day, yeah, exactly. Even same day, we're trying to arrange it. If not, one day before, one day after.
Yeah, but they can't. Do they actually meet? They can't really meet.
No, they can't. Based on the regulations in Northern Cyprus, the egg donors must be anonymous.
Yeah.
So.
And what happens to any unused embryos? I imagine there may be some if we happen to stimulate and there's lots of eggs on both sides. What happens to any unused embryos?
So that is, so based on the regulations also here, that is really depending on what our patients want. So either they can sign a document to destroy the embryos, or we can freeze them for them. and then they can just pay the freezing fee and we store them for them. So maybe in a couple of years' time, they want a sibling for their child, or they want to, if the first one is positive from their own materials, they might want a siblings later on from the donor materials, so we will be able to do that. Or even if they say, please destroy it, we can destroy it. But if it's the partner sperm is involved, we cannot use those embryos as an embryo adoption program.
Okay.
But if it's a single lady, and then we use sperm donor for the IVF process. So basically, the first embryo set we used from the woman material plus the sperm donation, and the donor, egg donor plus the sperm donor, that is actually kind of an embryo donation.
Exactly.
So if they don't want that embryos, and they said, I'm giving the consent saying that I'm giving up these embryos and you can use them for someone else, yes, then we can use it, because they're completely different egg donor and sperm donor. Other than that, we cannot use it.
Yeah, and people can keep them for another attempt or another pregnancy attempt.
Exactly.
That is great news, Nevzat. I think it's such a good program, and we'll make sure to share these on social media, because I feel it's something that people probably are not aware of that is possible.
Exactly.
And maybe it would save them time and also increase their chances.
Especially the women's age between 40, 45.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the hot programs that we are suggesting, of course, based on their results. But we are getting lots of requests about this program. Sometimes with their own material pump, they get it pregnant. We don't need to use the other set. Sometimes they said, just transfer from both of them. We don't want to know about even the genetic material. We just want to have our baby. So when they give birth, actually, was it the embryos from their own material or from the egg donor material? And most of the cases, what we see, they never check. They don't care, because it's their baby at the end of the day. So the main aim is, as I said before, Andrea, it's to actually achieve the success for the intended parent.
Nevzat, thank you so much for answering our questions around Tandem IVF today.
You are most welcome, Andrea. Thank you very much.